Good morning, everyone. Here's a new original song or a new month or a new theme. Dare to be free. It's your time to be the person who holds the key to the life you live every day. It's the rhyme you make, the song that you create on your own to sing your own way. Dare to be free from the sorrow, dare to be free from the ties that bind, and open to the grand design. Dare to be free from the past that's holding you back. And dare to be free for all to see. And dare to be free. In the end, my friend, it's the love that you give to the world that makes it go round. And the gifts you bring will all change everything, for the light that's lost will be found. Dare to be free from all the sorrow. Dare to be free from the ties that bind. And open to your own grand design. Dare to be free from the past that's holding you back. And dare to be free for all to see. Dare to be free. 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 Dare to be free.
Thank you so much, Reverend Glenn. Welcome back. Good morning, and welcome to Creative Living Fellowship. My name is Fran Peck, and I will be serving as our Sunday service host today. And hello to our online viewers, Facebook, YouTube, and CLF website. Thank you for joining us this morning. Please be sure to leave us a message, a comment, so that we can acknowledge you. And if we have anyone here for the first time, please stand and raise your hand so that we can acknowledge you. If you didn't sign the first time visitor log at the welcome table, please do so before you leave today. Let me tell you a little bit about Creative Living Fellowship. Creative Living Fellowship is an independent religious science church, and we honor all paths that lead to truth. Our deep intention is to be a community of love, care, and connection that opens hearts, expands consciousness, and transforms lives. And we do that through the principles and practices of the science of mind and spirit. The science of mind is a new thought, ancient wisdom teaching that provides us with tools for living our best possible lives. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, said, "Prepare your mind to receive the best that life has to offer." Here's a bit about our order of service for today. Reverend Glenn Swain is our musical inspiration today. Let's give him a warm welcome back. Welcome back, Reverend Glenn. Our practitioner emeritus, Reverend Mary Jane Hyde, facilitated our pre-service meditation today. She is also holding high watch, which means she is sitting in meditation and prayerful contemplation, just holding a perfect space for the perfect unfoldment of this service. Thank you, Reverend Mary Jane. Elena Larner is serving as our practitioner of the day, and she will be offering our evocation. That will be followed by a wonderful gong wash by Reverend Christopher Gurukram Gallagher. Let's give Reverend Christopher a warm welcome back. Welcome back. After the gong wash, Elena will be back with our inspirational reading of the day. Right now, here's Elena with our evocation.
So if you'll just join me, closing your eyes, as together we remember that we are part of the one, that there is only one life, one presence, one power, one thing going on, and that's God, the good omnipotent. No matter what we call it, that one mind, that one presence, that one life is everywhere, is all of us, is everything, all times, all places. And today, right here, for Creative Living Fellowship, I speak this word of evocation and blessing for what takes place here today. I know that the lesson that we learn from the words that Reverend Sherry shares with us, we're each present to receive, whether it's physically present here, whether it's online, whether it's simply a friend who's in need of the lesson that comes to Reverend Sherry today. We know that the words that she speaks are from the divine and reaches each and every one of us in the perfect way. I speak a word of blessing this morning for all of the volunteers, for each and every person here who's of service, for each visitor, the congregation, and the world at large. I know that today is a grand and glorious day, for today is a day that the Lord has made. I give thanks that this is so, and so it is. Amen. Today's reading is excerpted from the writings of Ernest Holmes. There is a saying, you can never outgive God. It's up to us to align our consciousness with the innate good available to us. It's not until we actually believe in unlimited good that we experience it in our lives. The unlimited supply of all good things has already been given. We use spiritual mind treatment to reveal the good and release any attachment to the form the good takes. We let go and let God. We need only be receptive to the gift. We know that when we ask, God always says yes. It is only our negative thoughts and attitudes that block our good. With spiritual mind treatment, we proclaim our oneness, accept our good, and release all limiting beliefs, thus opening ourselves to our full potential.
When the last child cries for a crust of bread, when the last man dies for just words that he said, when the shelter over the poorest head, we shall be free. When the last thing we notice is the color of skin, and the next thing we look for is the beauty within, when the skies and the ocean are clear again, we shall be free. We shall be free. We shall be free. Stand straight, walk proud. We shall be free. When we're free to love anyone we choose, when this world's big enough for all different views, when we all can worship from the same old pew, we shall be free. Money talks for the very last time, and nobody walks a step behind, when there's only one race, and that's mankind. We shall be free. We shall be free. We shall be free. Stand straight, walk proud. We shall be free. We shall be free. We shall be free. Stand straight, walk proud. We shall be free. We shall be free. We shall be free.
Thank you so much, Reverend Glenn. Did you say the first song was an original song? Wow, thank you so much. Really appreciate it, and welcome back. Let's take a deep breath. Good morning, everybody. Let's take a deep breath together. It's March already. This is a new month. Can you believe it? Can you believe it's March already? And that means we have a new theme this month. This month, our theme is, we have a new theme this month. And our new theme is the joy in non-attachment. the joy in non-attachment. The joy in non-attachment. And you know that there's a lot to be said about that, because just thinking about joy itself, and Ernest Holmes defines joy as the emotion excited by the expectancy of good. And so when we experience joy, that there's that expectancy of good that we have. But then when attachment comes in, when we are attached to what that good is going to look like, then that blocks the joy, because we've become attached. We've developed expectations. And so he didn't say for the expectation of good. He said for the expectancy of good. That's what joy is all about, the expectancy of good. And so long as we have attachment, that we are holding on to, that expectation that we're holding on to, there can be no joy in that, because we're attached to whatever the outcome is going to be. We're attached to whatever the joy is going to look like. So we're going to be looking more and more this month at non-attachment, not holding on to external stimuli, not holding on to whatever it is we want, not holding on to the outcome, not holding on to the past, not holding on to anything. So non-attachment is an inside job, really, like everything is. It's an inside job. Attachment is the emotional holding on that we do to people, to circumstances, to situations, to the past, to whatever the case may be, or to even emotions that we have, to fear, to anger, to judgment, to guilt, to all that stuff. That's those things that we hold on to. That's when we're attached, and we can tell when we're attached by how we feel. When we're attached to something, if we're feeling disturbed inside, if our peace is disturbed, then we are attached to whatever it is. And so what we want to do is move into a place of allowing, move into a place of being open, moving into a place of just taking a deep breath, which is the first step really in non-attachment, in being unattached. Now there's a difference in non-attachment and detachment. Non-attachment is that opening up and just being where you are, accepting what is. Detaching is separation, because we're closing off something or someone. We are detaching, we're moving back from it, we're closing it out, we're shutting it out of our experience, our life, or whatever. And so we want to always be in a place of oneness, be in a consciousness of oneness, be in a consciousness of openness, so that no matter what's going on, we can be unattached to it. We can practice non-attachment in the face of whatever may be going on, rather than closing off, closing our hearts, shutting down so that we don't have to experience whatever it is. It's like whatever it is what it is, and we take a deep breath and we allow ourselves to move through the experience, whatever that experience may be. And so that's what we're talking about today, and that brings me to the topic today, Dare to be Free. And as I was thinking about this topic and the idea of non-attachment and daring to be free over this last week, I was reminded of, I used to be a hospice chaplain. My first job after out of the prosecutor's office was to become a hospice chaplain. Never knew that was coming, but it did. And I had certain patients that I was really close to. I really enjoyed visiting them. I really enjoyed spending the time with them. The one thing I want to say about hospice patients that I noticed, I learned a lot from them, is that in doing life review, which is what a lot of them did, they did a lot of life review. They talked about things that had happened in their lives and remembered a lot of things that had happened as they went through life. But there was never a talk about the job they had, how much money they made, what they didn't, how much money they didn't make. You know, all the material things that we get caught up in, they didn't have that. The most of the talk, most of the remembrances were about the love they shared, about the relationships they had, about the feelings they had, about the people who had come into their lives. And so that was something that I really was aware of and become more and more aware as I go through my own life. That's what's really important, and the things that we get attached to, the material things that we get attached to, the external things that we get attached to that disappear. But those feelings of love, those feelings of joy, those feelings of peace, those feelings of community are things that stay with us forever. They stay with us always. And so I was remembering this one patient that I would visit usually in the mornings. And she was a very cheerful person. She laughed a lot. And she had to be close to 90 years old. I don't remember her exact age now, but I know she was over 80. She was close to 90 years old. But at any rate, one day I couldn't get there at my usual time. So I went at the end of the day when it was dinner time. And when I got there, she was sitting up in her bed having dinner, and she was having a scotch and soda with her dinner. And I was shocked. She's sitting in the hospital, in the nursing home bed with scotch and soda while she's having dinner. And so I said, why are you having scotch and soda? She said, I have scotch and soda with dinner every day. And so the nurse came into the room and brought her cigarettes. I was appalled. I said, I can't believe you're letting, I said to the nurse, I can't believe you're letting her have cigarettes, you're letting her have scotch and soda and all this, with all these drugs that she's taking. And the patient laughed. She just burst out laughing. She laughed so hard. And I said, I don't understand why you're laughing. And she said, what do you think this is going to do to me? Kill me? Do you know that I am freer than I have ever been? Do you know that I am enjoying this every day? I get to have scotch and soda with dinner. And after dinner, I have a cigarette. What's it going to do? What harm is there? Do you know where I am? I'm on hospice. I'm 90 years old. I'm on hospice. You know what? That was such an eye opener for me. And sometimes I think about her and I chuckle, because she was so free. She said, I'm freer than I've ever been. She wasn't attached to this life, being here on this plane. She wasn't attached to what her life had been like. She wasn't attached to anything. She was just living in the moment, living in the present, and saying how much she enjoyed it. And she laughed a lot. Whenever I went to see her, she was always laughing. And that's when I started to think about her this week. I started to think about the joy in non-attachment. The joy in non-attachment. As much as I talked to her, there was nothing that she seemed to be attached to. I never heard her talk about things that would make me think that she's still holding on to anything. She was living in the moment. She was being in the moment. She was enjoying her life. She was a joy to be around because she exuded so much joy. And so that's what made me start to think about the joy. It really is, as I said, non-attachment is an inside job, just as is joy. The joy is already within us. The joy is already right where we are. And to the degree that we can let go of our attachment to whatever there may be going on, then we are freer than we've ever been. We are freer than we've ever been. We're freer than we've ever been. So I'm inviting you today to dare to be free. Dare to be free. Dare to be free. Look at what it is you're holding on to. What is it that you're holding on to? What is it that you want or don't want, and you're holding on to it? There's an expectation of things that you don't want happening, or there's an expectation of what you do want to have happen. Whatever it is, the expectation is what we get attached to. I'm thinking of our theme for the year. The best is yet to come. Stay the course. The best is yet to come. Yes, we have an expectancy of good when we say the best is yet to come, but we have to not have attachment to what the best is, what the best looks like. What does the best look like? We don't know, but just being open, just being aware, just being available for the best to be expressed in and through and as each one of us, to be revealed to us as we go through our lives. And it's the same way with staying the course. What does staying the course look like? Just not being attached to what does that look like? It's like wanting healing in our lives and then being attached to what healing looks like and not recognizing healing when it happens, because we are attached thinking it looks a certain way, that it's got to be a certain way. If I want healing in my body temple, then I've got to have this happen at this particular time in a particular way, or this particular drug, or this particular treatment, or whatever the case may be, when we don't know. If we can just be open and available and being present in the moment and knowing that there's that power and that presence that knows all, There's that power in that presence that is all. There's that power in that presence that 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 reveals to us in its own time, in due time, what it is we need to know, what it is we need to do, what it is we need to be. And so, to the degree that we can be open to that, to the degree that we can be available for that, to the degree that we can be in a place of allowing, then we're really free. We have really freed ourselves up to live our best possible lives and to experience the best that is yet to come. And so, I'm inviting you today to really look at where you attached. What are you attached to? Who are you attached to? What is it something from the past that you're attached to? If it is, are you willing to let it go? Because that's one thing that you got to be able to do, is to really be willing to let go of whatever the attachment may be. But first of all, looking at where you are right now. Where are you right now? What are you feeling? And our feelings reveal all that to us. Our feelings reveal all that to us. Is there a feeling of anger? Is there a feeling of judgment? Is there a feeling of fear? Is there a feeling of whatever the case may be? Once we recognize and identify the feelings, then we can identify what it is we're being attached to. If it's judgment, who is it that we're being attached to? It may be a person. If we are judging another person, then and we're having some feelings about that, then we are attached to that person. If we are judging a situation, that we are attached to that situation. If we're angry about something and not letting it go, that's where our attachment is. And so being willing to open up, take a look at it, take a deep breath, because that's the first thing we have to do, just taking a deep breath. That's, as I said, the first step in non-attachment is taking a deep breath, just breathing, which brings us back to the present. And when we get back to the present, then we can just decide to let that go. We can decide to, as the reading was saying, let go and let God. Sometimes that's easier than others. Sometimes it's not as easy as it sounds to let go and let God, but that's where our work comes in. That's where our spiritual work comes in. That's where our spiritual practice comes in. That's where our prayer work comes in. That's where our breathing comes in. That's where our journaling comes in. That's where our whatever it is we need to do, whatever it is we need to do to let go, whatever it is we need to do to be in a place of allowing, whatever it is we need to do, be willing to do that. Be willing to do that, because that's the only way we get to live our best possible lives, is to be willing to do those things. Be willing also to forgive. I always come back to forgiveness, because everything comes back to forgiveness. If we're holding something against somebody else, then we are attached to that person. If we're holding something against an incident or something that happened in our past, we are attached to that. And so being willing to forgive, being willing to let go, being willing to release it, being willing to say, I let this go. And we have to do that sometimes over and over and over again, but being willing to just let it go, being willing to let the person go, because so long as we aren't doing that, aren't letting go, we're holding on to the past. So being willing to let the past go, being willing to let go of the judgment, being willing to let go of the blame, being willing to let go of the criticism. And when it comes to ourselves, being willing to let go of those things that we hold against ourselves also. Not being attached to any of that stuff that's in the past, because if it's not happening in this moment, it's in the past. It's in the past. And so if it's to the degree that it's blocking us from living our best possible lives right here and right now, to the degree that we are being blocked from that, then we are still holding on. We're not free. So be willing to be free. Be willing to take a deep breath and live your best possible life in this moment, this day. And ask yourself, is this the best? Is this the best that I can do in this moment? Is this the very best that I can do in this moment? And knowing that, I'm hearing my mother, who talked a lot to me about things, but she used to always say, and believe it or not, she really didn't talk a lot. I talk about her a lot, but she didn't talk nearly as much as I say that she talked. She said things. At any rate, she used to say, do the best you can. That's all the Lord requires. Do the best you can. That's all the Lord requires. Do the best you can. That's all the Lord requires. So that's what I'm saying to you. Do the very best you can. But and you know what? The best is not always the same. Your best is not the same right now as it was yesterday. Your best is not the same in one situation as it may be in another. Your best is not will not be the same tomorrow as it is today. So that's why we have to stay in the moment and ask yourself, is this the very best that I can do? And when you can answer yes to that question, then allow yourself to just be free. Don't be attached to, I don't like the way this looks. I don't like the way I'm acting. I don't like the way I'm feeling. I don't like what I just said. None of that. Just being in a place of just taking a breath and say, this is the very best I can do right now. And being honest about that. Being honest about that. And being open and expecting that you're going to do better. Having the expectancy that you're going to do better, that it's going to get better, that you're going to, mistakes you made in the past, be willing to forgive yourself for those and be open and receptive to allowing yourself to do something different, allowing your best to reveal itself in a way in the next moment that it has not revealed itself in the past, allowing yourself to exhibit your best in this situation that you didn't in another situation. And when we do that, that's when we are being free to love ourselves. So that's what I'm inviting you this week, to be free to love yourself. Do you know that's a tall order sometimes for people? Love yourself. That's a part of the joy in non-attachment. When you aren't attached to criticism of yourself, when you're not attached to guilt, when you're not attached to shame, when you're not attached to coulda, shoulda, woulda, then you're free to love yourself. And that's what I'm inviting you to do, to really be free to love yourself. Let that be your intention this week. Let that be your intention, not only your goal, but your intention this week, to love yourself, which means that in each moment you have got to ask the question. You got to be present. You got to ask the question, is this the way that I'm loving myself? And if not, there's no reason to criticize. You can just change it right then. Whatever it is you're saying, whatever it is you're thinking, whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is you're feeling, just allow yourself to take a deep breath. Allow yourself to take a deep breath and allow yourself to be free to change your thinking. Allow yourself to be free to change the way you're feeling, because once you change your thinking, it will change the way you're feeling. And once you change your thinking, it changes your life, and that changes the way you're feeling. So I'm inviting you, decide to love yourself unconditionally. That may be a tall order, but love yourself unconditionally. How many people think they can do that this week? Okay. How many people are willing to try that this week? Okay. Let's make a commitment to really try to unconditionally, without conditions, love ourselves this week. Allowing that love that is, and we do that by allowing the only love that is to flow through us. Because that when we are open, that love flows through us without condition. There's no condition to the only love that is. There's no condition to that divine love. There's no condition. There's no conditions, no expectations on it. There's just the freedom to love. Give yourself the freedom to love yourself this week. Give yourself the freedom. Dare to be free to forgive yourself this week, because that's a part of loving too. Forgiving yourself, releasing yourself from things you didn't do, things you did do, things you could have done, things you should have done, things you would have done. None of that. None of that. Just being willing to say, take a breath. Yes, I love myself. Let's hear that. Let's take a breath. Yes, I love myself. Right here and right now. Yes, I love myself just as I am. Yes, I love myself right here and right now, just as I am. There may be some things you want to change. There may be some things you will change. But right here and right now, yes, I love myself. Can you let that be your mantra this week? Can you let that be your constant affirmation this week? When the thoughts of criticism, when the thoughts of doubt, when the thoughts of fear, when the thoughts of whatever come into your heads, can you just take a breath and say, yes, I love myself right here and right now, just as I am. I love myself. Yes, I made a mistake. And I love myself. Not but, and. Yes, I could have done better. And I love myself. Yes, I'm going to do better. And I love myself. No, I didn't do my best in this last conversation I had with that particular person. And I love myself. And I love myself. That's when we're moving into that place of non-attachment. That's when we're moving to that place of joy, because we have the expectancy of good. And when we have the expectancy of good about loving ourselves, we expect there's going to be even more love that we have for ourselves, even more good coming from that. And that's how we get to experience joy. That's how we get to experience the joy in non-attachment. So look at the areas of your life as you walk through this week where you are being attached, and look at the areas where you're willing to have non-attachment and where you can be non-attached or unattached. Not detached. Look at the places also where you are detaching, because when you're detaching, you're separating. And we always want to have oneness in mind. We always want to have the idea of living in oneness in mind. We always want to have the idea of living in oneness, because as I said before, when we're detaching, we're closing off and we're separating. When we are moving into a place of unattachment, non-attachment, we're opening our hearts. We're opening our entire being. We're being a part of the all that is. And we're allowing that all that is to have a space to express in and through and as each one of us. So experience the joy in non-attachment this week. See the many, many ways, because there's so many ways that you can do that. Discover that for yourselves. What way can you experience joy in non-attachment as you discover more and more ways to become non-attached? When you leave here and you're driving home and someone cuts in front of you in your car, take a deep breath. If you feel yourself getting riled up and want to yell at them or whatever, that's attachment. That's attachment. So take a deep breath and just be in a place of center. Be in a place of loving. Be in a place of openness. Be in a place of oneness. Be in a place of joy. That's how we get to experience that expectancy of good. So let's take a breath now as we turn within in this moment. Just turning within to this place and space within each one of us where God resides. At the very center of our being, that power and that presence of God is, as we are in the very center of God's being. That only power, that only presence, that only life, that only mind, that only activity, that only joy is God. It is my life. It is the life of each of us here this day. So from this place of awareness, I speak a special word of blessing for each of us and for all of us this day. Just knowing that as we walk through this time, we are open and receptive to receiving all the good that God has for us, because all the goodness of God is available to each one of us. And each one of us is releasing and opening up and allowing that good to be revealed to and through each one of us, whether it's in our body temples, whether it's in our bodies of affairs, whether it's in our relationships, however it is, the goodness of God is expressing in and through and as our lives. All needs are met. Whatever we may call those needs, all needs are met for each and every one. This is the truth that I know, because I know that God himself is in the midst of every situation, every circumstance, for everyone, everywhere. And so I speak a word of peace and love and joy and harmony and balance and freedom and freedom and freedom and peace of mind for everyone, everywhere. I know that there's peace in this world, in war-torn areas. I know that God is in the midst of whatever the situation may be. Whatever may be happening, whatever we may call it, God is in the midst of it. Peace is in the midst. And it is beginning to reveal itself as hearts are changed, minds are changed. Healing is happening everywhere because God is everywhere. This is the truth that I know. This is the truth that I know. In every situation, every circumstance on this planet, God is. And so I will pause momentarily so that you may speak the names of anyone you'd like held in prayer. You may speak their names silently or loud, and you may speak their names now. And so for all those whose names were spoken here this day, I know that right where each one is, God is blessing and keeping them. God is in the midst of everything, every situation, every circumstance, every event. God is. Healing is, wholeness is, and all is well. This prayer goes out to anyone needing a prayer this day, for God is in the midst everywhere. Thank you, Father, Mother God, for the word spoken here this day. Thank you for the perfect manifestation of this word spoken this day. All is well. All is God. And so it is.
I won't have to chop no wood. I can be bad or I can be good. I can be any way that I feel one of these days. I might be a man that's dressed in black, be a hobo by the railroad tracks. I'll be gone like the wayward wind one of these days. One of these days it will soon be all over, cut and dry, and I won't have this urge to go all bottled up inside. One of these days I look back and I'll say I've left in time. Well, someday for me I know there's peace of mind. I might someday walk across this land, carrying the Lord's book in my hand, going across the country singing loud as I can one of these days. But I won't have trouble on my back, cutting like the devil with a chopping axe. I'll just shake it off of my back one of these days. One of these days it will soon be all over, cut and dry, and I won't have this urge to go all bottled up inside. One of these days I'll look back and I'll say I've left in time, 'cause somewhere for me I know there's peace of mind. It's gonna be peace of mind for me one of these days.
Thank you, Reverend Glenn. How awesome. And thank you, Reverend Sherry. Thank you. So this is our conscious giving time, the time when we participate in the divine law of giving and receiving by giving of our tithes and offerings here at CLF. We invite you to join us in this sacred practice by tithing here at CLF. CLF is a tithing church, so as you give to CLF, we tithe 10% of our income to local nonprofit organizations that are serving our communities and making a real difference in the lives of real people. Our 2024 first quarter tithe recipient is UMOM. UMOM's mission is to end family homelessness by restoring hope and rebuilding lives. Every night, they provide safe shelter and supportive services for nearly 700 individuals experiencing homelessness, 155 families, and 130 single women. We are pleased to be able to support UMAM's mission. For online giving, you can click the donate button on our website or on a Facebook page. Or you may use your cell phone to give. That text to give number is 844-941-4360. Again, that text to give phone number is 844-941-4360. For our in-person giving, the ushers are now making their way forward. Please join us in our offering song, I Trust in God. The lyrics are on the screen.
I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender. I'm one with the spirit all around me. I surrender. I trust in God. I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm grateful, so grateful. I trust in God. I trust in God. I trust in God.
Now let us repeat our offering blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God, and so it is. Thank you all very much. Now, here's Nicole with the announcements.
Good morning, everybody. All right. I'm in control of my own destiny right now. Reverend Sherry, are you listening in on my therapy appointments? I swear. I've had the full-on conversations about detachment and non-attachment. So I thought that was kind of funny. All right. So here's a reminder that we offer midday meditations Monday through Friday at noon on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. And our new thought book study is underway. They are studying An Altar in the World, A Geography of Faith by Barbara Brown Taylor. Now, I know the schedule was one more week. You guys going to go longer? So it's not too late. Get the book. It's on Amazon and join the book study in Zoom on Saturday from 10 to noon. Thank you. I went off script, so who knows where I'm going to go. The links are on our website or in our weekly email. The second quarter is just around the corner, and we're looking for an organization to send our tithe. If you have a local nonprofit organization, and for those of you online, local is for Phoenix. So a local nonprofit organization you would like to recommend, please fill out our online form and submit it for our BOT consideration. You can find the link on our website or also in your weekly email. After service, we have our practitioners available to pray with you. Also on our welcome table is a prayer box. You can submit a written request there, or you can send an email to prayer@creativelivingfellowship.com. Please put prayer requests in that subject line, and that makes sure it gets to all the practitioners. All our written requests are prayed on for 30 days, so send that prayer in now. There's no fellowship today due to our practitioner meeting, so be here next week. You can find all of our information for our events on our website or again in that weekly email. And we had sent for our members out there, we were supposed to have a membership meeting next week, but we're postponing that until April 16th. You said 16th earlier. Okay, April. The second Sunday in April, whatever day that is, you will get an email. You'll get an email this week with a new date. So don't worry about what I say right now. Just know it's not next Sunday, but please join us next Sunday in person either way. Who cares? We'll figure it out. It all works. Today's my intention was fun. I think I'm doing it. Yeah. Yeah. There's all kinds of fun things happening here in person, right? All right. That's it for me. Reverend Sherry, are you ready to come back? Have you up for it? Okay.
Thank you, Nicole. This has been a fun day. Let's all take a breath together. I'd just like to thank Reverend Christopher for being here with the Gong Wash today. It is so awesome having you back with us today. I really, really, really appreciate it very, very much. So just a couple of reminders. You know what they are. Treatment for Supply, page 262 of the Science of Mind textbook. Use it. A prayer for our country. Lord knows we need it. So let's keep that going. In addition to the prayer by Ernest Holmes, use your own prayer for our country and for all of us. Let there be peace on earth. Continuing to remember that it starts with each one of us and using that also. Continuing to connect with each other, whether it's in person or email or text message or however it is you connect, because that's how we stay a part of communities, by connecting with each other. So now if you will please stand for our closing affirmation and our closing song. And repeat the affirmation after me. That's okay. So the affirmation here, let's repeat this after me. Today I release my attachment to anything external. I open myself to the joy that is. And I love myself unconditionally. As a result, something wonderful is happening in my life right now. I know it, I sense it, I feel it, and I thank God for it. Thank you, God. And so it is. Let's take a breath and we'll sing the peace song. I don't think we asked Reverend Glenn to do that. So, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Thank you all so much. I love you. I'll see you next week.